Start now. Thank you.
Then, just to go through the next 2 hours, I will present briefly the project scope, just to set the framework of today's discussions. Then we will outline the results of our analysis regarding the bio-based technologies uptake in the two regions, Greece and Italy, the two countries that we are focusing today. And then we have the more interactive session where we will introduce ourselves just to get to know us better, and followed by two sessions, two topics to be addressed. The second one would be more interactive. The first one would be more presentation and question and answers. Now, regarding the project, what is all about? The project is an Horizon Europe support action, which started 1 year ago, and it aims to support primary producers in order to be more involved in the supply chains from the early stages of building a supply chain, learn more about bio-based technologies and solutions and how they can benefit from them, how they can apply those solutions, and at the end of the day, increase their economic growth in a sustainable way. Now, two are the main pillars of our project. First of all, the work that is going on and was done under the operational groups funded by AIP-Agri, now transformed to EU CAP network. So our aim is to promote the work and the solutions that is going on there in an attempt to increase their visibility and let's say convince other farmers and foresters to apply similar solutions. The second pillar is bio-based technologies. We are focusing on the technologies or practices that use non-food feedstock, circularity principles, or both to deliver diverse products. This is a definition used widely by the Commission. Where we are, the activities of the project are deployed in 6 countries: Ireland, Spain, Italy, Greece, Poland, and Czech Republic, having partners in all of those areas, while the Munster Technological University is the coordinator. So all activities primarily will be deployed in these countries. However, in a moment, you will see that our aim also is Europe-wide. How do we plan to support primary producers? First of all, we set up forest and agricultural networks in each region, so to be able to exchange with experts from the region, or to, let's say, to plant the seed of further engagement with primary producers. Through those networks, we'll be reaching out to primary producers, to advisors, to policymakers, to regional authorities, so the entire AKIS ecosystem. We started also from analyzing the current situation in our countries in order to have the correct messages where we will base upon. And we are entering now the phase of engagement with primary producers in terms of informing them, organizing network activities, and training them to uptake bio-based technologies. At the end of the day, obviously, our concern is to leave this knowledge for the after the project era period. Now, I said before that we are also planning to go beyond national borders, and this is why we mapped, we grouped regions having similar geographical characteristics. And this is where we are now. It's the Mediterranean European Transnational Region involving Italy and Greece. We also mention Spain, but Spain is in our case, is also involved with the Atlantic area, so they are grouped with Ireland. Now, this is the project, what it's all about. Of course, more details are available either to us, through us. I mean, you can contact us. or through our social media and website. And now I would like to pass the floor to my colleagues, Dimitrios Moustakis from American Farm School, where he will present the results of our analysis in Greece. I'm stop sharing, and Dimitris. If you have any questions, either in the chat or wait for later on, or okay. Thank you, Dimitris.
Sorry about the delay. I kind of have a problem with sharing.
There is a button.
Okay, I must be doing something wrong. I have my presentation on my desktop.
We see your presentation.
Okay.
Put it in presentation mode. I think it's...
Now do you see presentation? Okay. Well, unfortunately, yes. I cannot see you at all, but that's okay. We'll proceed. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Good afternoon officially to everyone. For those of us who have not met before, I am Dimitrios Moustakis, researcher and consultant at the Innovation and Impact Hub of the American Farm School of Thessaloniki, which is one of the partners of the BBioNets project. Up next, I will provide a relatively brief overview of the current state of the bioeconomy in Greece. Okay. Let's start by identifying the needs that must be addressed to drive the development of the bioeconomy in the forest and agriculture sectors in Greece. According to our research, the main needs that need to be addressed for the development of the bioeconomy are related to the creation and implementation of targeted incentives, which encourage the acceptance and adoption of bioeconomy practices. These incentives should focus on the financial support for farmers, since farmers require support in order to integrate innovative and more sustainable practices into their existing business models. Also, they need support. Our incentives should focus on the establishment of structures for entrepreneurships and skills development tailored to farmers' needs, including state-of-the-art infrastructure to prepare and train farmers in advanced and innovative techniques. Two is the promotion of bioeconomy through targeted actions such as awareness campaigns. The enhancement of agricultural research is needed to strengthen and expand agricultural research with a focus on bioeconomy, emphasizing innovation and sustainability as well. Last but not least, the empowerment of agricultural cooperatives is essential to enhance the role of these cooperatives and implement initiatives to educate and assist farmers in transitioning more effectively to those practices. Regarding biomass resources in Greece, the most significant biomass resources in Greece are olive tree and olive oil processing residues. Olive cultivations in Greece reaches 11.6 million acres with over 170 million trees. 80% of olive trees are cultivated for olive oil, while the remaining 20% to produce table olives. 23% of all cultivated land in Greece is covered by olive groves. Although olive tree is present in all regions in Greece, in the Peloponnese and Crete share 70% of total production. On average, Greece produces approximately 2,600,000 tons of olives per year, and the olive oil production reaches a range from 300,000 to 400,000 tons. There is also a great number of approved olive oil standardization units, which has passed 750. So we can conclude that olive tree and olive oil industry in Greece generate substantial quantities of biomasses, including olive pomace, olive leaves, and prunings. Second, wine vineyard waste. The area covered by the green vineyard amounts to over 600,000 acres. More than 1 ton of biomass is produced per acre of vineyard. In Greece, we produce 2,100,000 liters of wine, and approximately for every liter of wine produced, we have 500 to 750 grams of biomass. In the Peloponnese region, generates 40% of all wineries in Greece. In Central Macedonia, 13%, and in Crete, 10%. You can see at the right bottom of the slide, sort of like where different kinds of trees are cultivated in Greece. So we can see a table related to not a table, two graphs related to different groups of tree crops in Greece. To outline some examples, we like to mention that the portion of orange production allocated to processing fluctuates annually between 20 and 30% of total yield, and depending on quality and volume not sold in the market. And similarly, approximately 15 to 20% of total peach production is designated for industrial purposes, with the remainder directed to the fresh fruit market. Also have manure. Depending on its origin, manure has different forms and management requirements. This table shows the number of livestock raised in Greece and the corresponding amount of manure estimated to be produced. The livestock production sector in Greece represents about 25% of the total gross agricultural production. There is a lot of unexploited waste in the agricultural and livestock sector in Greece. In fact, the annual production of waste in Greece from both agriculture and animal husbandry was estimated at approximately 58 million tons per year, and overall 47% of this waste comes from livestock sector. A notable example of animal livestock byproducts is sheep wool, which has been recognized for its potential as a natural fertilizer due to its high nitrogen content. Wool blocks and granules are 100% natural, biodegradable, and environmentally friendly, offering sustainable solutions. Additionally, wool geotextiles are widely used to safeguard drainage ditches and stabilize steep slopes in gravel pits, providing immediate protection against water erosion and landslides. Key features of sheep wool include that they are rich in nutrients, they have slow release, they're sustainable, water retaining, and activate soil life. I think I'm running kind out of time. Okay, in order to effectively utilize all the aforementioned categories of biomass, we need to implement appropriate technologies. These technologies can be broadly classified into biochemical, mechanical, and thermal. Anaerobic digestion is a proven method for processing livestock manure, food waste, and crop residues. This process generates biogas, which can be used as an energy source, and biofertilizer, which enriches soil health. Organic waste, such as manure, food processing byproducts, and crop residues, is composed to produce nutrient-rich soil amendments. Composting is a sustainable approach that enhances soil fertility and reduces waste. Fermentation is used to produce bioethanol from sugar-rich agricultural residues, such as grape mark and cereal straw. Biomass, such as sawdust and straw, is compressed into dense pellets, which are easier to store, transport, and use in combustion, making them practical solutions for energy production. Combustion is a traditional yet efficient method for heat power generation, particularly in rural areas where decentralized energy systems are prevalent. Regarding gasification, we can say that it converts biomass into syngas, and pyrolysis is the process of heating biomass in the absence of oxygen yielding bio-oil, syngas, and biochar. Now, there is a brief overview of the legislative regulatory initiatives of the EU to promote the bioeconomy. Unfortunately, we don't have the time to elaborate on them in detail, so we'll simply note them. In 2012, we have the adoption of the European Bioeconomy Strategy, which was focused on innovation and competitiveness with key objectives of food security and sustainable management of natural resources. In 2015, the adoption of strategy and action plan for the circular economy, which emphasized on the efficient use of resources with an environmental orientation. 2017, the review of the bioeconomy strategy, and 2018, the update of the bioeconomy strategy, which aimed at three key objectives: strengthening eco-friendly sectors, developing local bioeconomies, and understanding the ecological boundaries. Finally, on 2020, we had the integration of the new agricultural policy with the bioeconomy, focused on three key aspects: promoting employment and sustainable development. Each member state develops a strategic plan aligned with bioeconomy strategy and allocation of CAP funding to support the sustainable development of bioeconomies. Regarding funding grants, we're familiar with the Horizon Euro project. I don't think we have time to elaborate on this, as well as with LIFE program.
Yes, Dimitri.
I think I will need more 2 minutes if it's okay with you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay. 2 minutes, okay.
Okay, now regarding the Common Agricultural Policy, bioeconomy is included in one of the 9 specific objectives of the CAP to promote employment growth, social inclusion, and local development in rural areas, including bioeconomy, sustainable forestry, and member states have to program bioeconomy-related funding in their CAP national strategic plans. We'd also like to mention the European Structural and Investment Funds, the European Agricultural Fund for Rural Development, the Cohesion Fund, the European Regional Development Fund, and Innovation Fund. Unfortunately, I don't have time to elaborate on this. Last but not least, national policies. Although the importance of the bioeconomy has been recognized globally for economic, social, environmental, even tourism perspectives, in Greece, the bioeconomy model has not yet received the attention it deserves. We will briefly present Greece's national circular economy strategy launched in 2018 and the subsequent 2020 action plan. The strategy is built on 3 key pillars: sustainable resource management, support for the circular economy, and circular consumption. To achieve these goals, the strategy sets 8 long-term targets by 2013, which is prioritizing eco-design, waste prevention and recycling, improving energy efficiency, promoting innovative consumption models, supporting collaboration between authorities, academia, and business, to name a few. To implement this objective, Greece introduced specific operational interventions such as regulatory reforms, tax incentives, training programs, and the creation of a governance framework, including a dedicated observatory to monitor progress. Building on this foundation, the 2020 action plan outlines 71 key actions for 2021 to 2017, 14 actions target production, consumption, and waste management, 25 actions focused on critical sectors like electronics, vehicles, packaging, plastics, textiles, etc., and food systems, of course. To sum up, the circular economy strategy aims to transform Greece into a sustainable, efficient, and innovative economy. Collaboration among stakeholders and committed to implementation will be key to achieving this vision. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Dimitris, for this detailed presentation. Just information for everyone. The presentation will be shared as for the recording. So if you forgot something, you can go there and review it. And of course, all BBioNets partners are available for any additional information you might need. Francesco, can you please summarize the situation in Italy?
Okay. Hi, good morning to everyone. Sorry, I share my screen. Do you see the presentation?
Yes, if you make it in presentation mode, please.
Okay, now it's fine. Okay, thank you. So just for a short description of the area, our area fund was composed by 3 different regions that are Piemonte, Valle d'Aosta, and Liguria. And this area is in the northwest of Italy and is bordered by France to the west, Switzerland to the north, and Liguria Sea to the south. These differences generated a difference in the characteristic of the territory, which include the mountains, coastal areas, and valleys. For this, we have 3 different sectors: agricultural sector that produce a majority of cereal, wine crops, olives, and fruits. Livestock sector with the Piemontese cattle and Sambuca sheep that produce obviously meat and milk, and the forestry sector with a lot of forest with the foliage and the wood, the production of foliage and wood. Regarding the regulatory framework and the national fundings, for the regulatory framework, we have principally the National Recovery and Resilience Plan and the National Smart and Specialization Strategies, that are 2 programs that highlighted the importance of the waste valorization and the technological innovation. And regarding the national fundings, the National Recovery and Resilience Plans with the mission to green revolution and ecological transition, the Italian CAP strategic plan that promote ecological and digital transition and ecological sustainable jobs, and the National Research Plan that prioritizes bioeconomy related to research, while regional smart specialization strategy. Regarding the contribution of operational groups, we want to highlight the importance of the operational group in the funds area. We have only for 2 regions, Piemonte and Liguria, and we identify 2 projects that are directly related to BBT in Piemonte and 3 in Liguria. The only difference between these 2 regions is that for Piemonte we have a personal budget for the forestry dedicated calls, and in Liguria no. After this first recognition for the contest of funds area, we want to discover what are the better BBT for our area. So in the 2 meetings with the funds member, we want to prioritize the needs and the availability of biomass. And regarding the needs, we have for the first one, the territory and the chain projects, resource of investments, transformation chains for plant residues, thermoplastic starch for biodegradable materials, dissemination and visibility, innovation and transformation system, the first one. Regarding the biomass availability, we can see that for the agricultural waste, we have a majority of straw, pruning, and lawn husks, but also oil regarding the part of Liguria, seeds and pomace. Regarding the energy crops, we have a production of arundo, miscanthus, panicum, thistle, and sorghum. And regarding the wood forest, we have hardwoods, conifers, and arboriculture. Oh, sorry. Then this part, we did the identified and the prioritization of BBT for our funds area. And we asked in a focus group at member this 5 questions, and we analyzed the BBT under these characteristics. So if the BBT is suitable for the available resource in the region, if is the BBT suitable for the region's need that we analyzed in the first part, if this BBT have the potential to develop a value chain, if is economic potential of the BBT for the region, and if the BBT have benefits on the environmental and society in our region. So on this topic, the member of our farm prioritized the BBT, and the first one was the agronomic use of bark and pruning residues to increase organic carbon in agricultural soil, offering an alternative to fossil-derived peat. Use of pruning for biochar production, utilization of tomato byproducts, composting of olive residues, production of natural infusion and food additives from olive leaves, transformation of agricultural biomass residue into compost and fertilizers, pelletizing mixed biomass residues and waste from agriculture and forestry. The 8th one is stabilized bedding for dairy crows. 9, a method for managing grease residues within the context of sustainable and innovative agricultural practice. And the last one, the conversion of low quality grass from wetlands into biochar to improve soil quality. We identify this BBT with our member or fund where it is possible. Where it was not possible with the analysis of other BBT in other region of Italy. Thank you for the attention. I'm finished my presentation.
Thank you, Francesco. It was quite impressive work that was done during the previous meetings with the focus group and the experts. So before we proceed, any comment, any question, anything that needs to be clarified? Going once, going twice? No. Okay. So just now to get to know each other, the idea is to go around and open the mic and just present yourself. What we are really interested in to see your involvement, if there is any involvement, with operational groups, either directly or, I mean, as a beneficiary of an operational group, or a supporter, I mean, an expert who supports primary producers. So if I am to start, I'm Iakobos Delouglanis. I'm from Focus STC based in Greece. We are partners of this project, and we are not primary producers. We are consultants, and we are not involved in any operational group. So our expertise, let's say, or interest is engaging with these knowledge transfer activities, but not in the technical discussion themselves. So just to go around, I opened the list of participants as I see it. So I will go alphabetically, not to lose someone. Alessio Ercoli, if I pronounce him correctly. Are you around? Can you introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Sorry, because I have some connection issues. So I'm Alessio Ercoli and I work in Paneco Ambiente. Our company is located in Italy and we are basically part of BBioNets Piedmont. We were not involved in any operational group. Basically, our company has over 40 years of history dedicated to the green economy, and our activities concern the creation, production, and the sale of biotechnological products for agricultural sector, water treatment, industrial sector, environmental sector, livestock, zootechnical sector, and last but not least, also the professional certification sector.
Okay, if I understand correctly, you are involved in the BBioNets fund in Italy, the network in Italy, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so you know from this side what is going on. Perfect. Then
Thank you for your attention.
the next person I see is Carmen, if you are with us. Okay, yeah, okay, let's go on without Carmen because he's having problems right now. So if I have to go, at least from what I understand, one per organization, so not to disturb the situation. Dimitri, again, briefly, if you can, or you, Elizabeth, about AFS.
Yes, hello. I'm Elizabeth Papadopoulou. I work for the American Farm Shop. I am a social scientist, which means that in this project I design and coordinate activities that have to do with knowledge transfer and capacity building. In any case, generally, I do work for facilitating the adoption of technologies, the uptake of technologies, and any issues regarding behavioral change and cultural change in the primary sector. Thank you very much.
Okay. Dimitri, I think your background is totally different, so...
Yeah, just a few words from me. I'm a food scientist, and my postgraduate studies have to do with management and information systems. And I work at the same office with myself.
Okay, thank you. Carmen just wrote, let's say, a short profile in the chat. She's the coordinator of the project, working for the coordinating entity of our project. And she is part of the Circular Bioeconomy Research Group. In fact, MDU, the university, had the biorefinery glass operational group, but they are still quite active in supporting several other operational groups in Ireland. I hope that I summarized, Carmen, your expertise. Next in my list is Dimitris Mergis, or Mergis.
Hello, yes, it's Dimitris Mergis. I'm one of the two co-founders and the Chief Technology Officer of Bio2CHP. We are a spin-out university from the Aristotle University of Thessaloniki. My background is in mechanical engineering with a PhD in biomass gasification. We are developing a gasification technology in Bio2CHP, but my research interest was in general the topic of bioenergy. Did some postdocs in thermocatalytic processes in syngas cleaning and also in synthetic natural gas production from hydrogen and carbon monoxide. I was also doing some teaching in the Aristotle University 5th year for thermochemical processes. And I think what we are here to express the technology providers and give a technical support in the discussion that's going to happen today.
Thank you very much, Dimitris. Next in my list, now you choose Francesca, Francesco, Laura, all of you, take turns, please.
Yes, of course. Just a little introduction. I'm Francesca Giarè, and there are other colleagues from Italy, from CREA. Our center is an agricultural research center, and we support agricultural policies at regional and national level. In particular, our research and support issues are ACIS. We have a database of Italian operational groups. And in general, innovation and policies to address it, to support farmers and other actors in the development of their activities. And we work with different actors, such as researchers, but also association of farmers or personnel of regions and ministries. So it's all for now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Francesca. Francesco, you spoke before, but your personal, let's say, background?
Hi, I have a PhD in economy, management, and quantitative method with a focus on agricultural practice and policies. And now, after my PhD, I work in the same center of Francesca.
Thank you very much. Laura?
Okay. Good morning, all. I'm Laura, and I am a PhD in agricultural economics with a specific focus on water resource management. And now I'm postdoc research fellow supporting the BBioNets activities. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Patricia.
Hello, everybody. I'm Patrizia, and I work also at the CRIA. I'm a researcher here, and my background is an agronomist, and I deal with the economics topic.
Thank you very much. Giovanni.
Yes, good afternoon to everybody. I hope that my camera switch off or switch on, okay. I'm an agronomist and a PhD on agricultural and elementary sciences. I'm the director of the Regional Center of Research and Experimentation in Liguria region. I worked on several operational groups as in protection strategies of olive crops and production, and in projects where we studied the possibility to use, to individuate alternative uses of plants, such as extract for plant protection and so on. So, and we are working also on biodegradable plastics to substitute polypropylene on ornamental potted plants. So we have a lot of points in connection with the project.
Thank you very much, Giovanni. And I think only Daphne is left.
Hello from my side. I'm Daphne. I work at Focus. My background, I'm a geologist with a master's degree in the atmospheric environment. Not closely linked with the agricultural domain or the OGs, like it was mentioned again before about Focus. But I think that the BBioNets offers a great opportunity to dive into this domain and learn new things relevant to bioeconomy and agriculture and forestry. And my main role in the project is the dissemination and communication of all the work the consortium is doing. So that's it.
Thank you very much. It seems that I also missed Effie. Sorry for this.
Hello, everybody. My background is irrelevant to all of yours. I come from a linguistic background. Within BBioNets, I'm mainly dealing with the collaboration aspects of the project with other European funded ones, as well as the management. But it's always very interesting to find out more about your domain. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now we have two slots, two parts. That's the overview. First, Dimitris Mergis will present the work that they are doing in Bio2CHP, if I pronounced correctly. And then we have an interactive session about the social dimension of the uptake of new technologies. So, Dimitrios, if you please. We cannot, now you see you, we hear you.
Yes, just let me share my presentation. I will try to share the present. Yeah, I don't know if it's in presenter mode.
Coming, no, it's not in presenter mode.
You see the presentation as it should be?
We see the presentation, but not in the presentation mode.
Yeah.
I think if you share a window, then the presentation mode is not automatically be displayed. But if you share the entire screen, then it will.
Okay, I will do that then.
At least that trick worked for me.
Okay, I will try this now. So, share window. Entire screen too. Okay. I hope that now you see the presentation.
Yes, and in presentation mode. Thank you.
Okay, great. Yeah, sorry for that technical delay. As I said, I'm Dimitrios Mergis, one of the two co-founders of Bio2CHP. So Bio2CHP, I already mentioned our background, where the founding team is mainly me and Stefanos Tsiakmakis, both mechanical engineers, and we have the support and from highly skilled professionals, ranging from business to technical and operational backgrounds. And we're going to discuss about the title is very generic on its own, so I will try to be concise, and I will definitely not be within 10 minutes time, so I will need some your patience a little more to cover the subject. So biomass, there is a clear definition of what is biomass, but I would also add that it's any material that is either directly or indirectly originating from the process of photosynthesis. So anything that starts from glucose and then polymerizes and becomes more and more complex is in the family of biomass, and it can be distinguished in several categories. A grouping that can be done is the one that's shown here. So forest residues is a very clear group, mainly woody biomass found in forest areas. Agricultural residues also contain vegetable biomass, but also animal biomass, manures, shells, kernels, husks, etc. Derivatives, so waste from the food processing industry and from the paper industry. Aquatic biomass, algae, other macro. And of course, the organic fraction of municipal solid waste or industrial waste, and the oils that come from energy crops. To understand how we can use each type of biomass, we need first to understand what it's comprised of. So the triangle here shows all biomass on Earth, what is composed of. So the tip of the pyramid, the 10% is oils. Next is sugars, and the majority of biomass on Earth is mainly these three materials, constituents: cellulose, hemicellulose, and lignin. These comprise of the biomass the fibrous one, let's say. So cellulose is the main part of the cell wall. It's a glucose polymer. Hemicellulose is also part of the wall region of the cells in plants, and it also consists of polymers of sugars. And lignin is basically the concrete that keeps the plant cells together. So that's the intercellular, let's say the intercellular support. And it comprises of pretty complex polymers. The top two constituents, so cellulose and hemicellulose, are very easy also to decompose by organisms. However, lignin is much tougher. So most of the cases when you want to completely utilize a type of biomass, you first would need to split it into these materials and then continue with the processing. So going from biomass to the end product, which could be bioenergy, biofuels, or bio-based products, there are three distinct steps that you need to go through, which is the collection, the pre-treatment, and the conversion steps. Collection is, of course, very well known, depends on where the biomass is, and there are established practices and equipment to do it. Pre-treatment could be drying, making homogeneous the material, let's say, in size mainly, to make processing further even easier. But the majority of the pre-treatment could be washing and leaching. You can wash the material to remove the inorganics, to improve the thermal behavior of the acids by removing the silicates. And also pre-treatment is also the part that you, let's say, hydrolyze the biomass, lignin, cellulose and hemicellulose. You help them divide, split between them. So you could do this by washing them with acids, bases, steam, and there are several practices, but I certainly cannot go into much detail for that. So this is a general overview of the technologies that can be used to convert biomass, depending on what type of biomass it is. So for crop oils, mainly transesterification to produce transport fuels. It just get some laser pointer here to help. Not sure how to do this, but okay. Okay, so crops, starch, and sugars, as we said, pre-treatment, and then you can go basically after pre-treatment, some fractions can go to fermentation or anaerobic digestion. These two are in green boxes because these are biochemical methods. Or you can go to thermochemical methods like combustion, gasification, pyrolysis, torrefaction, and liquefaction. Lignocellulosic biomass, which contains lignin, basically cellular and hemicellulose, can also be used in several processes. Wet wastes usually go for anaerobic digestion, and after pre-treatment, they can go for any of the other ones. And algae is suitable for fermentation, for the production of third-generation biofuels, and also through pre-treatment can be used in many other processes, which, depending on the end material that we need, we may go for combustion if we just need heat and some inorganic acids as a biofertilizer. You can go to gasification or pyrolysis to further upgrade them into chemicals and fuels. Or you can go for torrefaction, which basically extracts some useful materials from the biomass, and the rest is basically something like a carbon, but not completely carbonized, so you can use it as a fuel. So fermentation is an anaerobic or aerobic process that basically converts biomass into ethanol or acids like lactic acids, for example. I will not get into much detail. Dimitris already did provided a very good description of these processes earlier. So here you have an important step, which is the hydrolysis step, in order to break down the biomass into cellulose and hemicellulose and use those sugars for fermentation, and of course the fermenter itself. Anaerobic digestion produces biogas and digestate. Digestate is a mixture of everything that has not been digested by the enzymes, and it is mainly used as a fertilizer, as a compost material, but there are also many other uses that we'll see in coming slides. And of course, thermochemical process like combustion, gasification, and pyrolysis. Dimitris mentioned already what is the distinction between the three, which is the oxygen presence in the process. I will not elaborate on that anymore. But all of these technologies that we've seen can be combined in a biorefinery concept. Here you have different types of biomass. Either they are crops, woody biomass, residues, aquatic, or waste. And you can produce a variety of outputs, either fuels, chemicals, food, proteins, energy, of course, and nutrients and fertilizers for agricultural use. So here I present some potential concepts that can be applied, and all of them fall into the biorefinery concept, like a gasification and Fischer-Tropsch route, pyrolysis to bioliquids, hydrothermal liquefaction to bioliquids, lignin to bioliquid, hydrolysis for cellulose ethanol, and enzymatic hydrolysis for hydrocarbon production. This is only a sample of the technology that can be used. Here are some samples. So depending on the feedstock type, for starchy crops, after mechanical fractionation, you, of course, pass through the hydrolysis steps to get those sugars from cellulose and hemicellulose. And then through fermentation, you can either shift towards animal feed or bioethanol. Oil crops mainly are called the first generation biofuels, the ones that are produced through oil crops. So here the process is mainly esterification that produces biodiesel, glycerin, and of course, some of the pressings can be used for animal feed. From lignocellulosic residues, of course, more complex processes are required. One process would be to gasify the complete material, produce syngas, then use the syngas either in a fermenter to produce alcohol or in a Fischer-Tropsch synthesis reactor to produce drop-in fuels. Similarly, for grasses, you can get the juice after pressing, which can be used for chemicals. And the fiber parts can be used in an aerobic digestion process to produce biogas, the fertilizer, digestate, as we said before. And of course, for tougher materials that need to be pre-treated to separate to lignin and sugars, lignin can be used in the gasification process or pyrolysis process, and the sugars can be used in the fermentation process. But apart from those, you can also use gases that are from biological origin to further use them to produce bio-based materials, further enhancing the bio-circular concept. One of those concepts is in the Horizon Circular Bio-Based Euro project that we are participating, that started last September. The project is called Manu Refinery. And basically, we use in this project syngas from gasification of solid digestate from biogas plants and biogas to produce animal proteins, microbial proteins, and other useful materials. So there are two lines. the liquid valorization line that mainly uses the liquid digested from a biogas plant. And with ammonium and phosphorus recovery, you can produce several products like ammonium bicarbonate, caproic acid, and other proteins. And with biogas fermentation, you can produce basically microbial protein as a feed ingredient. Similarly, you can use the solid fraction of the digested from the biogas plant to produce, after drying it, syngas through gasification, then use the syngas in a fermenter to produce acetic acid. Then the acetic acid is further fermented to produce single cell protein, and which is basically a feed ingredient. In the process, biochar is produced, or ash or biochar, which can be used as a biofertilizer. And all of this comes from manure, which is pretty innovative in this area. So what is biochar? I don't analyze a lot all the other enhancers and biofertilizers that are of organic origin, and because most of you are more familiar with them, I would just like to highlight biochar as a byproduct from gasification or pyrolysis. Basically, it's carbon and minerals that are produced from the insufficient oxidation of biomass. And these have a very interesting porous morphology. They can be used to improve the soil structure and stability. They can hold water. They can become cores where enzymes and microbes can be active. They can be used as precursors for activated carbon. They can be used in the construction industry and also in asphalt binder. This is a general overview. Thank you for your time, and I'm ready to start the discussion.
Thank you, Dimitris. First of all, is there any questions or something was not clear or something additional information?
Just a remark. Thank you, Dimitris, for this very analytical presentation. As a social scientist, all this was very interesting to see in such detail because it shows just how much the primary producers could gain from learning a bit more about the processes. Thank you.
I have a question, or maybe two. I mean, based on your knowledge, because you come from the research part of the entire sector, what is the status and situation in Greece, if you know? I mean, all those technologies, do they exist in Greece, applied, I mean? And to what extent, or maybe some of them, or, I mean, based on your interaction with all stakeholders?
Yes, we started through doing research. The last years, we've been developing the technology to go into the market. So in this process, we've been very much involved with the industry and the primary sector, and of course the other similar companies that do similar things in Europe. In Greece, there are a lot of technologies, a very great talent and great knowledge in the labs, at the lab level. So up to TRL 5, all of these technologies you can find in the Greek universities and research centers, and there is amazing work that's being done. There are even some in the thermochemical part, which I'm more familiar with. There are several research facilities that have done very amazing work, like CERT, for example. And regarding in more industrial settings, biogas is dominating the market. It's increasing very fast. So all of the materials that we find in from all the waste materials from biomass that we find in Greece are most of the time being taken by biogas plants. This has one good side and one bad side. So the upside here is that these don't go, these are not just wasted. So we produce biogas in the meantime. However, the downside is that this is not the optimum way for all of the waste that are available, whether it is manure, lignocellulosic biomass, sugars, etc. All of those technologies that we showed, part of these should be used by other technologies to get higher added value products outside, like proteins, like chemical compounds, acids that can be further used, rather than being converted to biogas and fertilizer. Because now it's a fertilizer, but in the coming years, so Greece has a small amount of biogas plants compared to other European countries like Germany or Italy, and a very big area of agricultural land. So it's very easy to spread, but as the biogas plants increase in number and size, and the arable land remains pretty much the same or even shrinks, there will start to be a problem with over nitrification of the lands, and there will be some legislation that these digestates can no longer be used as a fertilizer. This is already a situation happening in Germany, in Italy, that you cannot build a new biogas plant unless you have a more sophisticated method of treating those digestates. So when this problem occurs, people will start thinking of alternatives. Apart from biogas plants, there is also some combustion systems that produce ashes. Those ashes are used in locally, mainly you need to find your own downstream supply chain for your byproducts, and this is one of the hurdles or showstoppers for many new technologies. Also for gasification, there are a couple of industrial scale gasifiers in Greece, not more. And these also have the problem with what's happening to the biochar that's produced, and how do you source the biomass. And now that at the beginning of this process of this market uptake, biochar seems like a magic material, but that's not the truth behind it. So you need to be going deep in what is within your biochar to find what is a more suitable way to use it and not consider it a waste, because there's also a lack of knowledge in the market, and I'm afraid that if not enough legislation is happening, we will get a problem for biomass wasting and polluting the environment to biochar and other types of materials like digestates polluting the environment. So we need to have a common understanding of these materials. We need to have protocols to categorize them and evaluate them, and we need to be able to have, let's say, a will from policy-wise to address this issue while it's still early and not let it go out of hand.
So technology is there, knowledge is out there, hurdles, practical problems, barriers, and most of all, we are waiting for biogas to pass away. I mean,
of course, that's the point of exactly of what I said. Just to add that other types of technologies like fermenters, etc., for the first generation fermentation, we had, of course, it's an old technology like wine and beer production of fermentation. But to combine them into a biorefinery concept, downstream and upstream the fermentation, you need to do several also other develop other technologies. It's very difficult to do this in Greece because the quantities are not very big, and of course you need also money to a lot of big funds in order to do this in a scale that's favorable. That's why there are several, let's say, demo pilots in Europe that can be used as platforms for new solutions and new processes that are developed in the Greek universities to do it, to, let's say, reduce the risk and the cost of upscaling those processes through testing them in demo pilots overseas. That's also, apart from developing the technology, we have a pilot plant on our own. It's a small one, it's a container size. We also provide these services. So if someone wants to test their fuel, if they want to see how much energy they can get out of it, what are the characteristics of the biochar that's produced from a gasification of that, when we can test it and make that type of evaluation. But going in big scale, you need a lot of funds, and also you need quite much of technology.
Indeed. Well, my personal opinion, the technical problems are always solvable. Small scale, large scale, I mean, there is also always a solution. Trust, collaboration, money, obviously funding, are some things that cannot easily be solved. But that's why we are in BBioNets, and as you said, there are many initiatives around Europe who pilot small-scale solutions to see how it goes. Okay, for me, I'm covered. I don't know if anyone else has something.
I would like to ask a question.
Yeah, of course.
Kind of silly one, but it kind of bothers me. So this is a process with 3 sort of like stages. We've got feedstock, we've got a process in the middle, and we have an output. So how easy is to sort of like moderate or reconfigure, more correctly, the process itself and the equipment in order to use different kind of feedstocks to get a certain output, or different kind of feedstocks to get different outputs? I mean, if I was a farmer, and probably I would have been a small scale, I wouldn't have the money to buy such an equipment. And if I had to, I probably would have a large amount of a certain feedstock in order to sort of like utilize it and have a good return on investment. So I was wondering how easy it is to configure these processes in order to get multiple feedstocks or perhaps multiple outputs. Thank you.
And may I start? Yeah. So that's a great question, great remark. Basically, there's no one solution fits all. Thermochemical processes are quite different from biochemical, because in thermochemical processes, everything you throw inside the system basically is converted to hydrogen, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, water, methane, biochar, and condensables, which is stars or hydrocarbons, etc. So, and your outputs mainly will vary very little, depending on how much carbon and hydrogen and oxygen is in the starting place in those materials. If you go for a biochemical process, then you need specific enzymes to do a specific job in a specific input. So, for example, fermentation is quite different from gasification, for example. That's why these technologies are only sustainable at very, very big scales, because they're very specific at what they produce. And if you want to change the process, you need to, in the same facility, empty do a hygienic control, sterilize everything, put in the new materials, the new enzymes, and start over. So it's mainly done in batches. It's not impossible, but it's very difficult to do. So one way to address this is through the pretreatment. So a suitable pretreatment would basically also divide everything you produce into cellulose, hemicellulose, lignin, acids, carbon, etc. So this would be a way to also address this thing. But apart from let's say gasification, which is suitable for small scale, and the thermochemical pyrolysis and combustion that pretty much could be viable in up to 1-2 megawatts. If you want to produce proteins and materials and stuff like that, you would definitely need scale, and this is quite difficult to do without sufficient biomass. It's a very complex problem. You need biohubs, you need different technologies, you need the networks and the knowledge to bring it all together. You need a smart way of using these technologies to also use as much materials as you can. Otherwise, biogas will again eat everything. So basically, it's the easiest solution so far. It works. It's not optimal also for the biogas plants, because all of these materials may produce deep problems in the process and in the equipment. But yeah, if there is a feed-in tariff for that, it's a gate fee for that, they're willing to take that risk.
Thank you.
Well, I see a raised hand. Nikos?
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for the invitation, and sorry for being late. I had the meeting earlier on. Nikos Damatis from the Hellenic Biomass Association. I would like to add to what Dimitris has said. I totally agree with most of what he said, but I would like to make a more positive note as far as the lignocellulosic biomass is concerned, because this kind of feedstock could not be suitable for biogas in most cases, unless there are, several pretreatments, and these materials are ideal for gasification, especially the lignocellulosic coming from woody materials, and to a lesser extent from agri biomass. The challenge here is that there is no gate fees, and there's no consistent policy from the part of the Ministry of Agricultural Development mainly, in order to mobilize the biomass which is wasted in the fields or burned at the end of the cultivation period. And as an association dealing with biomass best practices and biomass policies in Greece, we have proposed the model of the green biomass points or hubs, which could valorize biomass at local levels. It could collect biomass at levels at regional or municipal levels and pre-treat it to the needs of end users. And of course, this model should go hand in hand with policy measures of incentivizing the farmers within their obligations on green management to collect or to have their residues from the fields disposable for this kind of applications. We believe that if this materializes, and we are striving, through the different consultations and discussions we have with the ministries and the stakeholders, to have a model plant in place that could in this way would valorize lignocellulosic biomass, and in this way we could open up the market for more gasification technologies. So yes, biogas, it is a very well-known and recipient. Biogas plants are well-known recipients for organic waste, but for the lignocellulosic biomass, I believe that there could be a new era, and as technology advances in order to process in a more efficient way this kind of agri-waste. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nikos. It's good that you remind us of this, at least in Greece. And in which other countries?
The gasification technologies are widespread, especially in Central Europe.
The hubs, because it's a project.
The hubs, yeah, they have first started, as an idea in Mediterranean countries, Portugal and Spain, and now we are trying also to have a model on that through European projects and to involve a prefecture, especially in central Greece or in Thessaly, that there is where they're having the problem of open fires on one hand, and a lack of biomass on the other hand, because it is a region which has solid biomass power plants.
Thank you very much, Nikos.
You're welcome.
Any other comment, question, remark? Going once, going twice? No. Okay, thank you very much, Dimitris and Nikos and the other Dimitris for your comments. Now, shall we proceed, Laura and Francesca, with the social dimension of uptake of technologies?
Yes, thank you, Jacobus, for letting me the floor. Now, for dipping through the part of the social dimension related to the biomass valorization, we propose you a more interactive approach. So I share in the chat a link. Sorry, where is the chat? Okay.
Laura, maybe it's useful to use the QR code.
Yes, I also, thank you, Francesca. I also share my screen, and you can have access to this platform, both from QR code or the link that I share on the chat. Just a moment.
It is missing a W, but okay, even if you spell menti.com, it's the same.
Maybe we need some kind of code there, because this takes us to the homepage of Mentimeter.
Can you repeat, Elizabeth? Sorry, can I can hear you?
Maybe the link that we have in the chat, maybe it's a bit longer than this, because this takes us to the homepage of Mentimeter.
Yes, you have two options, or you can access with the link and put the code impressed in the slide, or you can use the QR code. But can you see the QR code? I think no. Okay.
There isn't, but it's the same. We can use the link and the code, maybe.
If you just click on the link and then enter the code, it's okay, it's working.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Everybody can have access to Mentimeter?
Yes.
Okay. So before too deep into the social dimension debate, we propose you an ice-breaking question just to comment the previous presentation about Greece and Italy. So using Mentimeter, can you please answer this question? What do you think are the main similarities and/or differences between Italy and Greece regarding the valorization of agricultural and forestry biomasses, if any? So we are waiting from your comments, or you can see the screen.
Yes, we
Yes,
do.
yes.
Yes, I'm going to attempt to start here. I think there might be quite a few cultural similarities between the two countries and the farming populations. I mean, I think we both have an aging population within the farming community, which makes adoption quite difficult sometimes. And also, of course, we have similarities in the resources available, for example, olive trees and vineyards.
Yes, I agree with Elizabeth that specialization is mostly about the agricultural of Greece, but in Italy, maybe more diversified. But let's see the answer from the participants. For example, the first one says, there might be cultural similarities. Okay, this is what you have just read, sorry. Yeah, I think it was from your side because you are very quickly. If you want, you can go on by reading the other one.
You mean me?
Yes, but...
okay. So I see here some differences, and the industrialization and manufacturing capacity maturity are more advanced in Italy. And a similarity here, the type of crops, the biomass, and agricultural practices are quite similar due to climate conditions, which is very true. Again, the similarity in agricultural cultivations. And I see differences in the way residual biomass is being collected and mobilized. I'm a bit curious about what you mean here. I don't know who wrote this. Would anybody like to comment here?
Yes, I made this comment.
Okay.
So it's basically the way that biomass residues are mobilized in Italy is different from how it is done in Greece. For example, in vineyards, there are mechanized solutions that go between the lanes, and it is easier to mechanize the collection in bales. This is more widespread in Italy than it is in Greece. And another comment is about the dispersion of the rural population. Italy being a big country with about 80 million people, it has a more balanced dispersion of population in different regions. And this is a fundamental problem in Greece because we have 2 big cities, maybe 3 in Greece, having 60% of the population. And the rest, 40%, is not so densely populated. And this explains why sustainable supply chains cannot be enforced in Greece that easily.
This is a very interesting point of view, and we're very glad to have it recorded here. Thank you.
I would like to ask who says differences, funding level, and acceptance of new technologies. This is so interesting because I would like to know more about acceptance of new technologies, because by the other side, another person says that there are cultural similarities between farming population. So
the difference comes from me And I don't have any numbers, any facts, but simply looking at the practices and new technologies applied, and all the funding, the several funding programs, regional programs. In Italy, there is a regional character of the funding. In Greece, we call it regional, but it's national money from the state. So it's different, totally different, how the source of the money and how they are distributed. So that's my only understanding. I think looking at the new technologies that are applied, not throughout Italy, not in 95% of Italian farmers, of course, as in any case, but I think it's more acceptable than Greeks. That's my opinion from a little experience not being a farmer.
Okay, thank you. Such an interesting insight. Everybody else would like to add comments? Okay. Okay, so maybe after the ice breaking, we can go into the social part. So I can,
Laura,
sorry.
if
Yes.
I may, because at some point earlier it was mentioned the size, the average size of land in Greece. And I was wondering if you as a research organization have this kind of comparison. I mean, an average land in Greece is that much, in Italy that much. So if it's twice as much, that means twice as much biomass in the same place, or let's say more opportunities to be exploited. So I'm just wondering if there is any kind of analysis about the average land size. Or anyone. I mean, if there is this answer, if not, we can go. Nico, you want to have the...
Yes, the average land in Greece, it's only 5 hectares per farmer. I don't know about Italy, but considering that in Central Europe and in France, it's maybe 4 times that, it shows why it is difficult to mobilize the residues.
Yes, also in Italy, the middle size of farms are not so high. So, but I think a lot of projects or research about this topic are ongoing. So
yeah, this is something that we hear a lot about the inadequate quantities of biomass. But I think it means that we have to concentrate more on collaborations. So if a few farmers come together, then it makes sense to valorize their bio-waste. But anyone on their own, not so much.
Exactly, it's a cultural issue. And I think Italy has a long-standing cooperative culture, maybe better than it is in Greece. And that explains why residues could be more easily exploited in Italy than they can in Greece. Lately, we have new models with farmers, with producer groups, as they are called. And hopefully, through incentives, they can also mobilize the residues, and maybe they can enter to schemes of contractual agriculture. The same way that they're selling their products, with contractor agreements, they could also valorize their residues.
Yes, I totally agree. Although also in Italy, the level of cooperation is a lot vary a lot among the country. So the southern experience a different situation in this term compared to the northern. Thank you for this insight. Anyone else? Okay.
I think we can move to the social aspects, Laura.
Yes, thank you.
The second, yeah.
Okay. Can you see the second question? These regard the perceived social impact. So what positive social impact do you think biomass valorization could have? In this case, you can rank each statement from the greatest to the least. So you can, you should rank each statement without forget anyone. Okay. Mentimeter is thinking and analyzing your responses. Okay. Until now, 5 respondents. We are waiting for the other 4 of before. Okay. Effective local waste management always rests in pole position. Okay, followed by improvement in farmers' income, job creation, reduction of pollution, reduction of rural inequalities, social cohesion, and increasing in welfare. So, by the side of social aspect, social cohesion, increasing in welfare are the 2 last. And so in the first position, we can see the effective local waste management. So the most social impact perceived is the reuse, so the circularity of the processes. And also farmers' income enjoy a good position. What do you think about this? Would you like to add something?
Quite optimistic that we see that the farmers' income can improve. But this actually means that farmers will have to actually value their wastes more than what they do at the moment. For example, here in Greece, we hear a lot that farmers just give away their waste streams just so that they can get rid of it from the farm. This obviously doesn't improve their income, but this is mostly from lack of knowledge and lack of awareness of what they can do with their waste streams.
Yes, also by my side is surprising these results, because literature also says that biomass valorization for farmers mostly improve the risk management than the farmers' income. But interesting. Anyone else would like to comment these results? For example, what do you think about social cohesion? So the 6th position.
But Laura, I think that social cohesion, but also increasing in welfare or reduction of rural inequalities are impact not directly linked with the introduction of in valorization of biomass. So it's difficult to understand how and when we can have social cohesion after the introduction of this innovation, maybe while the improvement of the income for farmers is immediately perceived, by the people, it's different for concept or impact such as social cohesion.
Okay, thank you, Francesca. The importance of short run and long run in the effect of the introduction of innovation. Interesting.
Laura, I don't know if you see your screen, probably not, but Nikos has raised his hand, so sorry to jump in. Nikos, you want to say something? Unmute yourself, please.
Sorry.
No.
Okay. Sorry. Yes, I was. I think it is actually a matter of whether there is management of waste at one particular place. So in the beginning, when there's no or little waste management, most important incentives would be the improvement in farmers' income. This would be the way for the farmer to have to have this waste, this residual biomass. I wouldn't say waste. This residual biomass be valorized. But because this cannot be done individually, it is too costly, and the individual farmer may lack the mechanical equipment to transport and mobilize this biomass. It would need to be a group work, and through this group work, we could have the social benefits of having teamwork enforced, and moving from the individualistic mode of working from individual farmers to the more collective one. So it is actually a matter of maturity of the status quo at the moment. There are places where this is being done, and this could be either through incentives from the state to, or maybe through punishment. It could be also a combination of measures of incentives and measures of no, if they're not mobilized and give the biomass to a particular recipient, then which is institutionalized, then you could have a penalty. But once this is done, then I think the social benefit comes very fast, because it has to be done collectively. It cannot be done individually.
If I'm not mistaken, the next step of creating cooperatives or collaborations at regional level. So that could be social cohesion. Just a comment from my side. When we're talking about income, there are two types of income. One is I sell something and I get money in return. The other one is I don't pay any penalties, any restrictions. So I save money. I don't earn more, but I don't pay. So respecting regulations, especially now in the new CAP, there are rules, more strict rules, how to valorize, what to do with your side streams or your waste streams. Avoiding or being within the regulation, complying with the regulation, sometimes saves money. So it can be seen as a kind of increase in the income, indirectly, of course.
Yes, an avoided cost. Thank you, Jacobos, and thank you, Nico, for your comments. We can move to the next one, if you agree. Okay. Here we talk about barriers that could limit the adoption of technologies related to biomass. And in this case, you can choose the three options that you prioritize. Okay, response are coming. Okay, we wait still 2 person, and then we comment also this aspect. Okay, so once again, the resistance to change. So once again, we are talking about cultural aspects that maybe relates both Italy and Greece. And then the other aspect that gain prioritization is initial high cost. Okay, followed by lack of information and absence of a bio-based market. And the concerns about environmental sustainability, the cultural inequalities, lack of human capital and technical skills, and also soft skills are not preferred by the majority of you. So, anyone would like to comment these results?
I would like to combine some of those parameters. Lack of information, it's not only about technical knowledge, but also about is this implemented elsewhere? I mean, case studies, how the others did it. I mean, this kind of examples, the communication of this kind of examples is still lacking, in my opinion. So yes, I need to know the implications, the technical, the financial implications, but mostly I want to be convinced that this is doable, this makes sense, and I will not punish myself by trying something new, which brings me to the lack or resistance to change. Imagine that, well, if you are a 70-year-old farmer, you will never change. But if you started or if you are in the 40s, and you have a business running, at some point you are called to add something, to do something different, I mean, to change. If I don't know, if I'm not aware, if I'm not convinced, I will never change. So information and resistance to change, these for me are kind of combined parameters. And then, of course, if I don't have the money or if I don't have access to the correct funding.
Okay, so you correlate lack of information to resistance to change. I agree. But resistance to change, in this sense, could be also correlated to the absence of a bio-based market. Is there the good place to put the output of this valorization?
Indeed, it's a kind of a versus cycle. I mean, the one needs the other. But the farmer himself is not fully aware of the total bio-based market. He is aware of what he has, and what he has is the crop and the side stream. So, of course, if there is no need, there is no market, there is no need to valorize your waste. So, the one needs the other, obviously.
Thank you, Jacobus. So, a circular analysis of the responses. Anyone else?
May I add something here?
Yes, please.
It touches also the cultural aspect because it has to do with the perception of the end use. What I mean, sometimes for the farmers, the residues from their crops have no value until a market exists, until there is a demand for it. And there are in many cases we have faced that farmers were actually begging companies or individuals to remove the residues from their fields. But when they realize that there is a real-world application, then they could start asking a ridiculous amount of money, which made the whole venture not possible. So I think this has to do with the cultural issue of having the farmers to make them believe that they are stakeholders, they are part of a supply chain, of a value chain, and that their role is important, both for the mobilization of biomass the sustainable maintenance of this biomass supply chain. Otherwise, these supply chains could never be long-standing, could not have a future.
Okay, thank you for such technical comments to clarify the situation. Thank you.
Welcome.
Sorry, I would like to know if from the Italian side this situation of barriers is correct, if our situation is represented by this situation. Giovanni and Alessio, could you help me to understand if the barriers that we highlighted are correct for Italy, or if you think that there is a difference between Italy and Greece regarding the barriers?
Unfortunately, I think that the result that we show on the screen, that we see on the screen, are quite correct also from Italian part, because in effect the difficulty is to convince, to explicate to growers the possibility to use the technologies to convert residues into valorized biomass in any scenarios. On Friday, I will discuss with a small community, rural community in my region, this point. How to increase the application of, for example, in this case, aerobial composting process, transforming vegetal residues of farms into organic matter. And the problem is this: the idea is accepted, the discussion is always diffused and accepted, but the application is difficult. The real application is difficult. We produce also a real case study thanks to the Perinaldo community, and we demonstrate the application, but instead of, despite this point, the rural community do not apply when they are alone the principle that we demonstrate, and this is a real limit for the adoption of biomass valorization. Maybe we need more effort to communicate to grower, to demonstrate to grower the application opportunity. Maybe thanks to the European and national financial opportunities, we could implement, we could develop this activity, but in effect, we have several problems to convince grower to apply by yourself in your farm. We try to convince not the singular grower, but to keep together several growers to stimulate the composting, the aerial, the zonal composting to implement this activity.
Thank you, Giovanni, for sharing your experience. It's very interesting to know how the rural community can react to the introduction, the proposal to introduction an innovation such as technologies related to biomass. Thank you so much.
Okay, we can go ahead, if you agree, with the next question.
Laura, sorry to interrupt you, but how many questions more? I don't mind extending the session, but I'm just saying.
Just 3.
Okay,
No, 2,
perfect.
sorry, 2.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, so we go quickly. Thank you. So please, now you can respond about what tools best engage local communities. So in this case, you can choose for each statement a value comprise between 1 and 5. Please. Okay. Well, the best, so the highest average regards the shared infrastructure. So the most quoted statement is the last one, and followed by, there is not a huge variance among results, but followed by sharing success stories, participatory decision-making, educational programs, co-creation, and at the end, public consultation and workshop. Any comments about this? What do you think?
Yes, Laura, as I said before, the shared infrastructure could be a real opportunity, mainly for local and rural communities. I voted this one, for example. But even if the vote is secret, okay. And also the sharing success stories could be interesting, but the grower, the local communities wants to see how we are able to demonstrate the success inside their community. I'm strongly convinced on this, even if educational programs, mainly basically with young growers and young persons. Workshop, we made already a lot of workshop. We produce a lot of discussions, but the real application is, in my opinion, the main topic. Sorry, I want also to see that in 10 minutes I have to leave this group. I'm very sorry, but I have a meeting of local action group and I have to go. I'm very sorry for this.
No, thank you for joining such interesting intervention.
I remain till 4 o'clock and 10 minutes. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? So a little few trust in institution with the lower value associated to public consultation. Okay, so maybe time is run up for everybody. So if there aren't any comments, I go to the last question.
Laura, just a very quick comment here.
Yes, please.
Shared infrastructures, of course, are important because it gives a sense of ownership to and involvement to local farmers. But in my opinion, and according to our experience, it cannot be the first step to mobilize there. You cannot jump into convincing a group of people that you're going to have shared infrastructure, because there is a need of investment to mobilize biomass, and if they cannot, if they don't have the funds to invest on that, then it just won't work. You have to involve them first of all in order to, through workshops, and see how this can be done in the local territory, and what could be the immediate return to them. So maybe, as Iacopo said, even an incentive in money or not paying a punishment. This would be the very important first step. Once this starts being, continuous, then you could have the discussion of have them involved in a wider shared infrastructure scheme. Otherwise, it will be just a theoretical conversation, especially if they don't have the funds to participate.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A bottom-up point of view, it's necessary. Thank you. I skip to the last. Skip. Okay, here we ask you to text some keywords to answer this question. So how can biomass valorization improve or can improve local quality of life? You have not a limit to the keywords that you can put, so feel free to express yourself. Okay. So the most frequent keywords of the word cloud generated are environmental benefits, environmental impact, cohesion, sustainable future. Elizabeth, do you want to add something or comment this word cloud?
Well, it goes to show that at least between us, the environmental benefits and the environmental impacts are quite obvious.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the kind of thing that you would expect from people who are already in the bio-based technologies environment, let's say. If we can just transfer this awareness and this knowledge to the primary sector, that would be perfect. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Laura,
Yes?
can we please wrap it up because people are starting to leave and
Yes.
we need also the group photo. So
Okay.
before that, if you want to sum up.
Yes. So I interrupt the sharing. Okay. Thank you to everybody.
Next steps will be that this recording will be uploaded so you can see yourself and us again in YouTube. And we remain at your disposal if there is anything, any way we can support and help or clarify something. Okay, so from me, this is it. Thank you very much for your patience for the last 2+ hours.
Thank you for coming, everyone.
Daphne,
perhaps before you go, we should take this photo. So if you would like, open your cameras. And
wear your smile.
Yes, please smile. Okay, I'm still waiting. Give me 1 second. Okay. Everything's done. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice
Thank
day.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.